Hello World on Twist, and I would like to thank God that I'm able to do another Raw recap and review. This one is from May 18th in 2026 from Greensboro, North Carolina. And if you enjoy WWE content like this, please subscribe to the channel for more. And also on this channel, I do WWE 2K26 videos as well. We just finished the CM Punk showcase, and pretty soon we're gonna be doing the My Rise on the channel, so you can check that out. And now let's get into the first segment of this Raw. We start off with Raw with Roman Reigns pulling up in the whip. He get his belt. Adam Pearce, the general manager, also says, "Hey man, you see, look what I told you, man. We should have just did it my way. We should have just fired him and got rid of it." But Roman said, man, I just need a couple minutes, and I'm calling him out tonight. I'm finna pull up." But you hear Jacob Fatu's music turn on. He said, "Hold on, is that Fatu?" Fatu, he walked down to the ring. He say, Roman, you said you was gonna call me out. He said, "You know what? I'm already out here, man. So why don't you bring your punk ass out?" And then you get the Usos. The Usos pop out. Jay got a chair with him, and Jimmy trying to go to say, "Con, let me talk to him. Let me talk to him. Let me talk to him." Jimmy gets into the ring. He says, "I don't know what your problem is, man. You just picked the hardest path to follow." He says, "You want to make sure your family good and everything, but you won't do the one thing to keep that. Acknowledge the tribal chief. Now you finna get fired. Now you might end up doing your old life. Might end up back in prison." And James ain't having. He said, "Man, he don't want to do it. Try to swing the chair, but Fatu gets him, knocks him down. Then he hits the tongue in on Jim. He and that man with the tongue, and Jay gets the chair, hits him with the chair, but Fatu no sells that thing. Now you get the tongue and grip on him now. And now we get the OTC popping out. Roman Reigns pop out. He stand on the apron. He get in the ring, punches, back and forth. They going at it, they brawling. And then he knocks him down. He tries to hit the Superman punch, but caught. Tongue and death grab. He hits it with the tongue and death grab. He's holding it, but Jey Uso pops out. Super kick, spear on him. Then Jimmy goes on the top rope, hits the Uso splash. Then they hit that man with the 1D. He's still trying to get up, Loki. He getting up. Then the Usos grab his arm. They tie him on the ropes. Hit that man with super kick. Superman punch for Roman. Super kick. Superman punch for Roman. Then he hit him with a big spear. Then they all head out. They go to the entrance ramp. Adam Pearce there. He said, "Hey man." He told Adam Pearce, "Now you can do what you want to do." Adam Pearce is about to fire him, but Fatu gets the mic. He says, "Roman, tribal combat." And the Usos like, "Man, you don't got to accept that." Pierce like, "You don't got to accept that." But Roman says, "I accept." Holds the belt up. So at Clash of Italy on May 31st, tribal combat, Roman versus Jacob Fatu for all the marbles. The loser has to acknowledge the other. So Fatu is probably going to be acknowledging Roman Reigns. Now, after that, we get into our first match of the night, which surprisingly is a street fight between JD McDonough versus Finn Balor. You know, last week, Finn messed up JD. JD wants to get back. It's the rubber match between both of these people. Instantly starts up the match crazy, hitting the takedown on him. Big punches on the JD. Then he gets him up, clotheslines him to the outside. He go on the outside. He grabbing that man. He throwing him into barricades, throwing him to the stairs. Then he get weapons, start throwing him in the ring, and then hit JD in the stomach with a chair. Hit him in the ring, but JD fights back by grabbing the kendo stick, wailing on that man Finn. But then he sets up a chair. He wedges it between the turnbuckle. But then Finn fights back this time by getting the kendo stick. He's slamming that man back and forth with it now. Then he tries to swing on JD, but he misses. JD catches him, turns into a Russian leg sweep. He gets him in the corner. He grabs the kendo stick. He starts choking Finn Balor, but he playing around too much. Finn get out of it. Leg sweep, boom. Then he grabs him, throws him head first into the chair. Damn. And Finn said, "It's time to get the people excited." He go to the outside. He get the announce table. He finna pull it out. But JD instantly suicide dive. Almost slams into the announce table with both of them. Crazy. Then they start fighting on the outside into the crowd. He grabbed one of the mics over there. He's smacking that man back and forth with it. And then that leads to Finn fighting back by throwing him into the equipment crate situation on the outside, but JD fights back and then slams him to the equipment, slamming him back and forth into the equipment. Then he goes on top of the equipment, then does a moonsault onto Finn, and that's how we get to the commercial break. We get back from the commercial break though. They're back in the ring now, and Finn does a little elbow slam on JD. He now has the advantage now, and then he grabs chair, wailing that man with a multiple attacks of the chair. Then he tries to pick him up to do a slam on the chair, but JD reverses out of it and then slams him onto the chair, dancing with a standing moonsault. 1, 2, Kick out from Finn, though. Then there's a table set up in the corner. JD tries to Irish whip into it, but Finn, he controls himself, stops himself there. JD tries to run over there, but Finn reverses the aim in with a sling blade. Then he gets him to near the table in the corner. Shotgun drop kick, boom, right through the table. Then he try to go for the. Then he go to the top rope to do the coup de grace. He jumps, but JD rolls out the way. That leads to JD getting up, running knee onto Finn. Then he hits with a power bomb like Gunther. 1, 2. Kick out from Finn. This must be the Demon Finn because he's not going. At least the JD going to the top rope and then he gets to finish the move. He gets the moonsault on the Finn. That got to be it. 1, 2. Kick out of. He no selling everything. At least the JD now getting the table of his own. He tries to put Finn on the table to do for the moonsault, but he says, Finn ain't going for that. He stops on the top rope and he tries to put Finn. Then he tries to put JD on the table. He tries to go for the coup de grace, but Dirty Dom pops out. He stops him. That leads to JD getting the advantage and then landing a superplex on Finn onto the table in the ring. He goes for the pin. 1, 2, kick out. Yeah, Finn's goated. He's invincible. He's kicking out of all the cold moves. I know JD like, you're making me look bad. That leads Dirty Dom to going on the outside, grabbing trash cans. They get in the ring. They start wailing on Finn, but Finn reverses out of it. When they try to do a 619 on them, he pulls JD off of him, puts him into place for the 619. Boom, 619 to JD. That leaves him then slamming Dom down. He grabs the trash can, puts it on top of JD head. Shotgun drop kicks. Boom. Go to the top rope. Then he hits him with the coup de grace with the trash can on his head. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Big dub for Finn. Oh my gosh. These men was fighting back and forth. They back got bloody. There's welts everywhere. A 5-star match. W Street fight. W way to start off Raw. And Finn, I feel like he's kind of dominated the Judgment Day now. I feel like he should move on to new things now. Get backstage with Seth Rollins. He's being interviewed by Jackie Redmond. She says, is it really wise for you to keep fighting the Division back and forth knowing you ain't got no homies, no allies, no nothing? And Seth says, that's not wise. I know. I'm a marked man. I got no allies out here, but he must end the vision. That's what he's here to do. And he says, he ain't had a match on Raw in 9 months. So it'd be good, to have one tonight, and he will. He's going to be having a main event against one of the members of the Vision. He say, hey, man, who I really want to fight? I want to fight Braun Breaker because he can't beat me solo, and he really wants to know, is he what he says he is? Is he really a Nepo baby? Or just a failed athlete? Or is he everything that he says he is, And he says he wants Braun Breaker to show him who he really is. Then we get backstage. In the locker room, we get Braun Breaker. He said, y'all see that? Hey, Heyman, tell Pierce, I'm going for that main event, me versus him. And Heyman's like, yeah, I see that. I saw that, yeah, but, Theory's going to be fighting him tonight. And Braun's like, what? He's like, hey, Logan, Theory, leave the room real quick. What are you doing, Heyman? What's going on? I can beat him by myself. And Heyman's like, yeah, I know you can beat him, but think about it. You know what place is going to be. You know how much is they stacked with the cards, We can just handle this afterwards. And Braun's like, okay, we can do that. We get another interview. We get Sol Ruka. She's being interviewed by Byron Saxton. He's mentioning her first few matches and asking about her experience. Sol's like, I took some L's, but I did put these women through the ringer. It was a good match between them. I put a statement on, and I'm letting everybody know that I'm here. And Becky's like, Becky pops up, interrupts, like, I didn't get no notification that you're really here, and like, it's crazy. You say you face the best people around here, but you haven't faced me. And at least they're saying, so you really bit off more than you could chew, and you should just really leave. And so goes, you know what, Becky, you're right. I should leave. And she leaves. And then Becky's like, that's what's wrong with this generation. You know what I'm saying? Do you hear Sol Ruka's music? They like, what? That's Sol Ruka music. Sol Ruka pop out to the ring. She say, Becky, I ain't going to do all this backstage. You know what? If we're going to talk about this, why don't we do it out here? So why don't you go pop out and be the man you say you are? Becky pops out. She's like, man, what's this stunt you trying to pull right now? Sol's like, you know what? I know I done lost and everything, but I done worked way too hard to give up now. And I'm going to prove everybody wrong. And I'm ready to prove you wrong about me. So why don't you fight me tonight, right now? And Becky's like, oh, you want to fight me right now? You want to fight me right now? No. Crowd boos are like crazy. They're like, boo, we want to see the fight. And Becky goes on to say, like, so you're just not ready. You're not ready to do it. But I will give you a chance to fight me. If you really think about it, if you think you're ready, you can fight me at Saturday night's main event. And Sol said, you know what? I'm ready to snatch your soul and snatch that title from you. And Becky's like, hold on now, I ain't talking about no title. And then it gets shown throughout the night that they will be fighting Saturday Night's main event, but it looks like it's not for the belt. So, boo. But that probably means that Soruka is going to beat Becky. Then we get on to our second match of the night. We have Los Americanos, that means El Grande Americano with Rayo and Bravo versus OG Americanos. That means OG El Grande Americano with Bruno and Julio, aka Julius and Brutus Creed. And so yeah, the match starts with a big brawl between them, and then we get into the individual things with Rayo fighting off with Julio. He hits him back and forth, but then Julio gets the advantage by grabbing him and hitting him with a belly-to-belly throw. Then that leads to Rayo getting to the ring, trying to do a dive on Julio, but he gets caught by him, and that leads to an assisted backbreaker into a fall-away slam sequence between the Americanos. But then Bravo tries to help his partner. He gets to the ring, he gets punches on the Bruno, but then Bruno ends up throwing him, and then throw him in the ring. That leads to Grande getting to the ring. Big punch on the Bruno, and then he gets into a booyah with the OG Americana. They're going back and forth. OG Americana wins the sequence by handing to an ankle pick, turning into an ankle lock. But then the Americanos, Rayo and Bravo, get in the ring, start attacking him. Then they grab his leg to the outside and pull it right down to the duh on the ring post. That was probably my favorite thing in the match. I love when people just hurt the duh in matches. Bravo hits a Rana, and then hits a suicide dive on the outside. That leads to a whole sequence of people jumping to the outside. Julio does a swanton bomb on the outside. Then Grande does a suicide dive to the outside. And then the OG Grande goes to the outside. Big moonsault on the outside to all the people. And then we get into the ring. OG does a superplex on the Bravo. 1, 2. Kick out from Bravo, though. And then Grande gets into the ring and starts attacking the OG Americano. That's when we get to the commercial break. Get back from the commercial break with the Americanos doing an Irish whip on the OG. But OG reverses out of that, hits a clothesline on the both of them, hits a big toss onto Rayo. Then hits a big ankle slam on the Bravo. Then that leads to OG in a double German suplex onto them. And then he grabs Grande and throws him to the corner. That leads to them Julio hitting the superplex on the Grande, and then Bruno does a moonsault onto him, and then OG goes to the top rope to land a headbutts with him for the final sequence. 1, 2, Rayo gets in the ring and stops the pin. That leads to Julio then trying to land a 450, but that ends up missing. Then the Americanos get the advantage. They knock them all down. Then they get into the corner and grab the little metal plates to put in. Then they try to do a triple team on the OG, but the OG stops it, and at least the Americanos get into the ring. They all land a triple German suplex onto their individual guys. Then they go to the top rope, land a triple moonsault by the guys. 1, 2, kick out from all the Americanos. They're not going like that. Bruto leads to Bruno and Julio trying to land a Doomsday device, but Grande stops it, and at least the Rayo and the Poison Rhino and the Julio. That leads to a whole bunch of people getting messed up. Rayo hits a Rhino on the Americano. Then Bravo hits the head on Americano. Then they grab him. And then Grande Americano does the big assisted headbutt onto the Americano. Gets the dub. 1, 2, 3. Los Americanos gets the win. This is a lot of lucha action, a lot of back and forth, hard match to cover. I give it 5 stars for just being a tornado tag match that was super entertaining. Everybody got their spots in. Everyone's moving back and forth. Fire match. I enjoyed it a lot, and pretty soon this is going to be over with because they're going to be doing the mass versus mass match, and a white man is going to get revealed to the world. And before we end part 1, yes, part 1, we do these Raw Recap reviews in 2 parts, so if you want to get the rest of the story and know the main event, you gotta watch part 2. But before we get into that, we get one more segment. We get the Usos being interviewed, and they're talking about how Tribal Combat is coming up. They explain how crazy it is. You know, Jay talks about how he was involved in it, and L.A. Knight, yeah, finally pops up to Raw, and he's just disappointed in the Usos. And Jim's like, come on now. Now's not the time. Now's the time. And LA's like, oh, what you gonna do? You gonna jump me like you did Jacob Fatu tonight? He said, you know what? We was just teaming up together, fighting the Vision off because of what they're doing. And now y'all just doing the same thing the Vision doing. Y'all basically the same thing. And you know what? I'm not I'm not scared enough to get whooped to fight to say what I want to say, man. So if I gotta deal with this, how I gotta deal with it, hey, I'm fine with it. And then the Usos walk away. But LA Knight is back, y'all. He back. I guess he ain't get no pay cut. I guess he did get a pay cut. I don't know. But that's going to be the end of part 1. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Also remember, man, that Jesus loves you. And make sure to tune in for part 2.